In this video, we're going to learn about the library module. We're starting from a point at which we've imported some pictures, we have put them into particular folders, we've renamed these files, and now it's time to look through these pictures, assess them, add some ratings, flag certain images, perhaps add keywords, a number of other things. So right now we are in the library module, and we're also looking at the images in the grid view. If you look at the bottom of the center panel, there are several different viewing modes here. The most common that we use is the grid view, which is the first one, and the loop view, which is the second one. If you like keystrokes, and I do, you can toggle between these very easily by hitting the E key for the loop view, which brings you in to look at just one image, and the G key will take you back to the grid view. Now, it's nice to be in the grid view to quickly look across all of your pictures, but eventually you're going to want to look at each one individually and magnified. And this is where I will hit the E key to look at a particular image by itself. I still have the timeline or film strip at the bottom, and I can click on different images down here in the bottom to go to those. I can also simply use the arrow key as I go across. I'm using the right arrow key or the left arrow key to go through these pictures. And I might take a quick look just to kind of see what's what in these this shoot and decide, maybe there's some images that I like and I don't like. Something else that you'll maybe want to do as you look across these images is add ratings. And this would be star ratings. You can rate an image from 1 to 5. There's a number of different systems I've explored and heard about with ratings. Obviously, just sort of rating something completely 1 to 5 would be one way of doing it. But I also enjoy the rating system of 1 to 3 initially. 1 would be it's garbage, 2 would be it's worth working on, maybe 3 would be it's pretty good. That makes it a little bit simpler, and then you can go back to your 3-star rated images and decide whether they're a 4 or a 5 and bump them up, and maybe go back to your 1-star images and delete them. However you decide to do this, you're going to add the star ratings by tapping the number key. So this one's kind of a confused composition. I'm just going to give that a 2. This is a little bit better kind of landscape format. I like the space in this. I'm going to give that a 4. This one not so much. I'm going to give that a 2. Maybe this is a 3. I think I hit a 2 on that accidentally, which makes one point, which is you can go back and change the rating simply by hitting a different number. And this one I like. I might give that a 4. This one is so-so. I'll give that a 2. This one's a little stronger. Maybe I give that a 3. This one's a little bit, it's okay. I'll give that a 3. This one I like. I'll give that one a 4. Maybe this one's even better. Maybe I give this a 4 and I'll go back to this one and give it a 3. So you can change these ratings as you go. So far I'm not seeing a lot that I think is really great, but just to put a couple of 5s in there, I'll name this one a 5. This one's okay, I give that a 4, and that one's not very good, I'll give that a 1. Now I've got 3 in a row that are very similar. Now I can go back and forth with these, but another thing I can do is select all 3 of them. I'm going to click on the first one, shift click on the last one, and then if I hit the N key, N for survey, I don't know why there's no N in survey, but the N key takes me to the survey view. Now I can look at all 3 of these at the same time. I don't really know that there's really very much appreciable difference between the 3. I don't really like this first one because it's got this concrete through it. I like the second and the third one, and I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference there. But I'm going to eliminate that first one by option clicking on it in the timeline. And now I can look at the 2 of these, and honestly they're about the same. So I can just decide to go back to the loop view, and maybe in this first one I'm going to give that a 4, and the second one I give that a 3, and move along. So I'm going to go through here really quickly and just sort of assign some ratings. I don't expect you to agree with my assessments, it's not the point. Yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe I'll give that a 5. Got to have some 5s in here just to give you how this works. Maybe get that one a 5. Ooh, this one's pretty good. I give that a 5. This one's too bright and give that a 2. This one's okay. Between those two, maybe I give this the 5. I'll go back to this one and give this a 4. And you see how it works. And I'm going to take a minute here. I'm going to fast forward and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, I've rated everything from 1 to 5, and let's see how we could use this to our advantage. If you go to the filters area, which is in the lower right corner here, right now it says filters off. If I click on this, I can choose from a number of different kinds of filters. I'm going to choose rated, and initially nothing changes because I've rated every single image, and now it's showing me all of the images I've rated. That's all of them. But right to the left of that rated area, I've got stars, and I'm going to turn on a certain number of stars to change what images I want to see. Like if I click on the third star, now I'm seeing all of the images that are 3 stars or higher. So that would be 3 stars and higher. I would see like these are all the images I think are pretty good, worth working on. If I go to 4 stars, okay, those are the images I think that are very good. And if I go to 5 stars, now I'm seeing the images that I think are really the best of my shooting. From here, I could also now decide to flag some images. So oftentimes for an assignment, we have a requirement of 10 images to be flagged as the final selection. I might start actually by going to my 5-star images and say, okay, well, if I think these are the very best, I'm going to flag each one of these. How do I add a flag? You can tap the P key to add a flag. I think of it like P equals pick. If you flag something and you decide that you don't want to flag it, you can unflag it with the U key. So like unpick, pick and unpick. P is give it a flag, U is take away the flag. So I'll give this one a flag, and I'll give this one a flag, and I'll give this one a flag. So now I got 5 images flagged, but I need 5 more for my assignment. So now I'm going to go back to 4 stars and better and look around for what I think is the next best images in here. Let's say maybe I like this one and I'll give that a flag, and I kind of like this one, I'll give this a flag. Let's see what else. Maybe this one and I'll give that a flag. And here's a good stop action shutter speed shot. I'll give that a flag. And now if I go to rated and rated for, oops, sorry, not rated, but instead of rated, I go to flagged. I can see here are the images I've flagged so far. Okay, I've got 9, so I would need 1 more image. I'm going to go back to my rated at 4 stars and better. And let's say I'm going to add 1 more picture. It'll be this one, and I hit my P key to add a flag to that. Now when I go back to flagged, there are my flagged files. I'm only seeing those flagged files. A few other things that can be helpful about ratings. If I go back to simply rated, right now I'm seeing all of the images that are rated. So far I've used my ratings to see my best images, like the ones that are 4 or 5 stars and higher. However, you can also look for just the worst. There's a little symbol down here next to the star ratings, and right now it's showing me the images that are greater than or equal to 1 star or 3 or 4 or 5 stars. I can change this so that it shows me ratings that are less than or equal to. If I show me my images that are less than or equal to, say, 2 stars, pull back out here, well, this is all the stuff that I'm not so crazy about. For a shooting assignment in class, I want to see everything that you've shot, so I wouldn't delete these. But in my professional working life, I don't want to take up my hard drive with all of this extra stuff, all of these images that are not very good, my mediocre work. I may as well just delete them. So what I can now do, and I have to be in the grid view to do this, I'm going to select all of them and delete. And all you have to do is hit the delete key. Lightroom is going to ask you, do you want to delete these from the disk, cancel, or remove? Cancel, obviously, we just cancel this operation altogether. They wouldn't be deleted at all. Remove will remove them from your Lightroom catalog, but these images will still be on your hard disk, your external drive, so they do take up space. And I don't really see any point of that. In this case, I would hit delete from disk, and then these would not only be removed from my Lightroom catalog, they would be erased from my hard drive. They wouldn't take up any more space. And I do that on a regular basis to save drive space. For class, we're going to keep everything. I want to see everything that you've shot, so I'm going to hit cancel. What else can we do with this? I'm going to switch this back to greater than or equal to and back to my 4 stars, or back to flagged files. And there are my 10 flagged files. I can also view camera data when I'm in library module. So if I double click or hit the E key on one of these images, you'll notice that up here in the upper left corner of the preview area, I see camera data. I see the name of the file, I see the shutter speed, aperture, ISO, the lens that I shot it with, and the focal length of that lens. If you don't see this information, you may need to turn it on by tapping the I key. and the I key on your keyboard, I for info, one tap will bring up the file name, the date that you shot it, and the dimensions in pixels of that picture. And by tapping I a second time, you will get your basic camera shooting info. These bits of information are also customizable, so if you want your info to show you certain other kinds of data, I don't know, perhaps like your exposure bias or any number of things, you can program that in. I think the basic camera data is great, the info that it already gives you. Over on the on the right side, we have a keywords area. So already these images have keywords that I applied right when I imported. You see College of DuPage and exterior. But like say for this image, well, I've got a manhole cover. I could add manhole as a keyword, add another comma to separate it from the next one, which might be water. Okay, and if I hit return, those keywords, those additional keywords, are also applied to this image. You'll see down here at the bottom, I also have some predictive keywords. So if there's something that I want to add into that, if this image, let's say, was shot in Chicago, I could click on Chicago. It would add that keyword. Down below that is a metadata set, or a metadata area, so that you can see also your dimensions, the date and time that the image was originally shot, the exposure information, whether the flash fired, what program mode you were in if you were in one, including manual, etc. This metadata, there's a lot of different metadata sets that you can show. If I go to the IPTC metadata, it'll show my copyright information, which I embedded when I imported, etc. So lots of different metadata that you can look at. Usually I'm looking at the EXIF data, which is your shooting information. This is really great to know. You wonder, like, why did this one image come out blurry? You can go over here and look and see what shutter speed you shot at with, or it's too dark, what was your current aperture and shutter speed or exposure value. You might be able to help sort out why you have certain issues. All right, that's the basics of the library module. In my next video, we'll talk about develop module.